In this video, I'd like to share with you a quick relaxation technique you can use to relieve anxiety, stress and tension. So if you're finding that you're feeling anxious, stressed or more tense than normal for whatever reason, then this can be a great way just to neutralize those feelings so that you can return to a much more calm, balanced and happy place. Hi, I'm Stephen Burns from Mind School and I've been a practicing therapist, coach and trainer for around about 22 years. And in this video, I want to share with you a quick but powerful technique you can use to drain anxiety, stress and tension from your body. And if you stick around till the end, I want to share with you a special bonus tip that will help you take this technique and make it so much more powerful. So just so that you know, this is a part of a larger series on how to deal with anxiety. So if you want to check out the other videos I've done on the subject, then you can see the links to those in the description. Also, if you could like, subscribe and ring the bell, that would be absolutely fantastic. So what is this technique? Well, the technique is called tense and let go. And it involves you tensing up each part of your body one after the other and then letting them go. Now, you've maybe seen this technique before. If you've done a quick Google search or a search on YouTube, then there are a few videos that outline variations of this technique. But I want to just add in a few additional steps that you may not have seen just to make it even more powerful. And as I mentioned at the end, I want to share with you something else that can actually take this technique even further and help you almost like reprogram your mind to become a much more relaxed person. So let's go through the technique, and you can go through this technique with me as I describe it if you like. So first of all, what you want to do is if you just find yourself in a comfortable position, I prefer to do this sitting down. If you do it standing up, it can be a bit weird because you can become very relaxed and you start to look like Mr. Soft, a bit like jelly. It's a bit weird. So if you're sitting down in a comfortable position, you want to start off by tensing up your feet. So I'll do that just now. You can't see it obviously because my feet are down there, but you can do this along with me if you want. So if you tense up your feet, really scrunch them up into balls, feel the tension, notice what that feels like for a count of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then just let them go. And the key thing you want to do here when you let the tension go in your feet like that is you want to place your awareness on how they now feel. Now, most people say it's kind of like the blood is flowing through their feet, but they just feel really loose. It's like they've completely just let go. And this is a key part of this process. It's very much an awareness process as well as a kind of tensing and letting go one. Because when you become aware of the difference between how your feet are feeling now in comparison to a moment ago, what it does is it teaches your brain what it feels like to relax. It almost like retrains your brain. Because one of the ways that the brain tends to learn is through contrast. The only reason why we know that there is such a thing as the night is because there is day. You know, we wouldn't really know the difference if there wasn't something else to compare it to. So that's one of the ways that the brain uses to learn, is it uses contrast. We compare different examples. So the key thing is you want to just place your awareness on how your feet are now feeling different to what they were a moment ago when you were tensing them up, because you're teaching your brain what it's like to relax. So then you want to move up to your lower legs. So if you can do that just now, just tense up your lower legs. It feels really weird to be doing this and speaking at the same time, but anyway, and really tense them up, scrunch them up. You might have to tense your feet up to do that as well. That's fine. Just tense up your lower legs for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then just let them go. And once again, you want to pay attention to the difference. How do they feel different now in comparison to a moment ago when you were tensing them up? Because it's one of these things, when we feel tense, when we feel stressed out, when we feel anxious, we often forget what it's like to relax. So what you're doing now is you're kind of just retraining your body and mind. It's kind of like you've sent it back to relaxation school, just to remind yourself of what it feels like. So then we want to move on to your upper legs and your buttocks. So you want to squeeze your upper legs and squeeze your bum and really squeeze it hard. And again, you might have to tense up other parts of your legs. That's absolutely fine. Really squeeze it into ball. Really feel the tension for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then just let it go. And once again, just place your awareness. As I mentioned, this is very much an awareness exercise as much as a physical one. So just place your attention on how you're feeling inside your upper legs, all the way down to the tips of your toes. That feeling of the blood flowing through the muscles, and that feeling of everything just letting go. How nice is that? Then we're going to move on to your stomach. So if you want to tense up your stomach, this is so difficult to speak when you're tensing up your stomach. So just tense up your stomach and really, really tense it up into a ball. Just tense it up harder than that for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then just let it go. And once again, just pay attention to the feelings of just letting go inside your stomach. What is that like? Pay attention to the difference. Now, when you're doing this, away from watching this video, you might want to spend a bit more time on this. I'm going through it just for the purposes of this video a little bit faster. So then I'd like you to tense up your upper body. So tense up your chest and make fists like this as well. And go, and really tense up your shoulders. This is the one that gets me. If I get tense and I maybe get a little bit anxious and stressed out, then it always seems to go to my shoulders. So I know I look really weird in the camera just now, but I don't care. So really tense that up, really, really tense that up for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then just let it go. And once again, place your awareness, become mindful. Place your awareness on just this lovely feeling of letting go that is spreading throughout your entire being right now, all the way from your shoulders down through your arms and hands, down through your chest, your stomach, your buttocks, your legs, all the way tingling through your toes. And then of course last, this is the one you've been waiting for, is you want to tense up your face. Let's do it. So you want to tense up your face, so really scrunch it up and go, really feel the kind of tension in your neck and feel the tension in your face, and oh my god, I must look really, really bizarre right now. And if you want to tense that up for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then just let it go. I feel a bit weird after that, actually. That was quite strange. And once again, just pay attention to the difference. How do you feel now in comparison to a moment ago when you were tensing up your face? So then what you want to do is you want to just spend some time just enjoying that. Really place your awareness on these wonderful feelings of relaxation that you're developing right now. Now, I like to add in a couple of extra steps. As I mentioned, these extra steps, in my opinion, make this technique much more powerful. So when you're in this lovely place of just being mindful of this really nice, relaxed sensation of just letting go, I like to then bring in the use of the imagination. So what I like to do is I like to imagine, what would it be like if relaxation had a colour? If it did, what would that colour be? So what would it be for you? For me, for some reason, it's always pink. I don't know if that says something about me, I don't think it is, but for me it's always pink. So if you were to imagine relaxation as a colour, what colour would that be? And then what you want to do is you want to imagine a cloud that is that colour, and imagine that cloud just entering into your toes, into your feet, should I say. I lost the power of speech there, I'm just so relaxed. And then just simply allow that cloud just to spread up through your ankles, all the way up through your legs, taking all the time you need to do this. And as it spreads, it can bring with it twice as much relaxation as you're feeling right now. All the way up through your buttocks, through your stomach, through your chest, down through your arms, your hands, nourishing every part of your shoulders, your neck, all the way up to the top of your heads. And like I said, I'm going through this quickly, but when you're doing this on your own, then you might want to take a bit more time with this. Now, sometimes you can even do a second round, so you can imagine that colour just spreading throughout your toes again, all the way up to the top of your head, bringing with it twice the relaxation that it had done previously. And by this time, you should be feeling pretty relaxed. And the reason why this technique can be so powerful is there's actually a few different reasons. But the first one, and I mentioned this earlier on, is because you are using the power of contrast. Whenever you want to learn a subject quicker, then the brain learns through contrasting examples. This is actually taken from learning theory. It's one of the learning principles, that if you can see what something isn't, then it's much easier for you to understand what something is. If I was to describe to you what a kettle is, if you'd never seen one before, then if I first describe what a kettle isn't, before I describe what it is, then the brain gets it a little bit quicker because it highlights the learning. You can put it into a specific box. So because you're noticing the difference between the tension and the relaxation, your brain gets it so much quicker. It learns what it's like, or it relearns what it's like to relax and just completely let go. So the second reason why this works so well is because you're taking the fight away from the anxiety. One of the things that people tend to do when they feel anxious, when they feel stressed, when they feel tense, is they try to fight it. So if they start to feel tense or anxious, they go, oh my God, I feel anxious, I need to stop this, oh my God. And the fight actually ends up creating extra tension. And the whole thing becomes like this escalation process. It becomes like a self-reinforcing loop. You feel anxious, you feel tense, and you then feel tense about feeling anxious and you feel tense. And then you try to stop it, you try to fight it, and it ends up becoming worse and worse. So the fact that you're actually, rather than trying to fight the tension, you're going with it and you're taking it to its extreme, can actually temporarily diffuse it. It can take the fight away. So it can be a really good first step towards then eventually just letting go. It's a little bit like if your kid is a little bit hyper. I don't know if you have kids, but just say for example you do. If your kids were quite hyper and then you try to calm them down, a lot of the time it doesn't work. It just makes them more hyper because they end up fighting against it. But if you just let them kind of just let that energy go, maybe you get them to run about and do stuff, eventually they tire themselves out and then they just kind of collapse. It's kind of the same thing. You're going with it to the extreme and then you're letting it go. And the third reason why this works so well is because you're combining both physiology and the deliberate use of the imagination. These are what I call the two vehicles for influencing your emotions. What we do with our body, so how we stand, how we breathe, how we move, has an impact on how we feel on the inside. And also what we do deliberately inside our imagination, how we think, also has a huge impact on how we feel. So you're combining the two deliberately to influence your emotions for the better. So that's the technique, but like I said, I also want to share with you a special bonus tip that can help you take this technique and make it even more powerful. It's a way of using it to almost like program or train your brain to become a much more relaxed person. So this is something that's taken from NLP, that's Neuro-Linguistic Programming, and it's called future pacing. So future pacing, put simply, is where you imagine the future being different for you. And anytime you imagine your future being different, you create what's called a neural pathway inside the brain. And then the more we imagine it, especially if we do it intensely, the stronger, the bigger that neural pathway becomes, and the more likely we are to go down that path and for whatever it is that we're imagining to become part of our day-to-day reality. So when you're using this in conjunction with this relaxation technique for anxiety, stress and tension, what you want to do is when you're in that really nice and relaxed place, you want to imagine what it would be like if you could actually feel this relaxed at some point in the future. So the way that I do it is this. I'll sit down, I'll go through the tensing and the relaxing, all of that jazz, and then I'll imagine the colour just floating up through my body, and I'll get into this place where I just feel absolutely amazing. I feel totally relaxed, so chilled, so calm. And then I'll simply ask myself a question. I'll say, what would it be like if I was to feel this relaxation tomorrow when I wake up? And then I'll just allow myself to explore that. So I'll imagine it inside my mind's eye. So I'll imagine waking up just feeling this relaxed. What would it be like if I was making my breakfast and just my whole body was nice and loose and relaxed and felt amazing? What would it be like if I went to work? Maybe there were some challenges that in the past would maybe throw me off balance. But notice how I respond differently because I feel this amazing, chilled out, relaxed person. And I'll simply just explore that for about 5 or 10 minutes. And it just feels fantastic. And what you're doing when you do this is it's not just a nice little meditation relaxation technique. You're also training your mind. You're actually creating these neural pathways for relaxation. So I'd recommend that you do the technique in the evening, and what that does is it allows you to de-stress from the day, but it also allows you to prepare relaxation for the next day, especially if you future pace. And it then becomes this really nice upward cycle where you can let go of tension quickly, but you can also prepare to become a much more relaxed person the next day. Such a powerful technique. So that is the technique. Give it a go. Hopefully you enjoy it. Let me know how you get on in the comments. If you have any sticking points, any challenges, please do let me know. So that's all for me for just now. And of course, don't forget to like and subscribe so I can keep you up to date with future content. So have a great day and I'll see you later on.